Screw up. Okay. No, seems good. Okay, we are back with our Coriolis Third Horizon campaign here, Mercy of the Icons. Last session, there was a bit of a firefight. The monk or brother, Ramas, uh, sent a secret message to meet with the group to essentially confess on some level, confess his sins that he was part of this terrible uh, push to eliminate on some level those with the as they call it the mystics disease. Um, Finally, having a crisis of conscience, he reached out to the party, but unfortunately, he was being followed clearly uh, by what you now know as a martyr strike force, um, who killed him before he could really say much to you. Although he had the foresight to record it onto a tab, which you were then able to play back and get details of a few things. Number one being that the mystics are being taken below the station, essentially into what's called the cellar, and he gave you a map that had essentially an access point to the cellar, which of course is not a place that you typically are able to go to. There's an access, kind of a secret access point, if you will, in the basement of the sanatorium. Um, and of course, that's how they've been bringing the people down. So you now know how to access the cellar. You don't exactly know where they are in the cellar, but you do know that they're down there. Um, and you were pretty injured, so you went back to Amira's apartment to kind of get yourself together and figure out if, I guess whatever equipment you might want to bring or whatever else you want to do, which I guess we can deal with right now. So go ahead. We'll go through it. You guys can intro your characters and we will figure out where you want to be. So let me look at the Zoom calls so I can actually see you guys. All right, so I'll start with Mike. Tell us about your character.
I'm playing Saeed Hafiz. He is the gunner of the Sacred Oasis. He is a longtime companion of Amira and used to be her bodyguard and is now her bodyguard and gunner. But a friendship has evolved instead of a client relationship. Um, yeah, he's pretty concerned about everything that is going on. He's going to make sure and double check that everybody is well, that we don't have um, any missing injuries, and he is actually going to go over all the weapons that they picked up and make sure that they are in fine working order to proceed with what we're doing. Um, yeah, and he's wondering where is the young woman who was our little rat who used to crawl around. I mean, she would be very useful. And that's Saeed.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, when you got back to the place, she was there. She had some microwave popcorn or whatever teenagers do, and she was watching the bulletin. Uh, yeah, tell us about your character.
I play Raman Al Kastim. Raman is the pilot of the starship Sacred Oasis, and he's from Koa. He's self-proclaimed best pilot on the side of Third Horizon, but despite being conceited, he's a good-natured and easy to get along. He's a bit of an adrenaline junkie, and he takes stupid risks with himself and the ship and the crew even when it's not necessary. Right now, Rahman is just like Saeed going over his weapons, making sure that they're in working order. And he approaches Saeed and says, Saeed, should I wear my exosuit if we're going down uh, where these martyrs are supposed to be?
I don't know. I think we would want to be as nimble as possible. Of course, that's easy for me to say since I'm going to be wearing my armor. I
Indeed.
think it'd be rather clunky to have an exo running around in there.
Well, I am very well trained in Exo, so I think I will be just as nimble as I am without him.
Okay.
And he takes that as a yes and heads over there to pull out his Exo.
He does
So,
remind you, you might want to talk to Amira about that too. She
yeah,
might
so,
have another opinion.
yeah, right. Some details might come to light as soon as we do the character intros. Crystal, tell us about your character and what's going on there.
I play Cyrus Toyma. She is the engineer of the group. She is secretly has a crush on Saeed, but she feels like she is not worthy of his attention. She doesn't get along all that well with Ramira, and she thinks that Rahman is an idiot. So I guess that's really all you need to know about Cyrus. Clearly the the brains of the operation.
Indeed. And finally, Nikki, tell us about your character.
Amira is the captain of the Sacred Oasis. She's also a former courtesan and Saeed's surrogate sister and best friend. She doesn't understand why Cyrus doesn't get along with her. Maybe it's just an intimidation because she's the captain thing, but she'll try to put her at ease. She was pretty beat up, or shot actually, last week. So when she gets back to the apartment, she's going to clean up. She's going to take a quick shower because she hates being dirty. And she is going to change her clothes and get ready to go into the cellar. But she is going to sit in her room for a minute and kind of meditate on the decisions that she's made so far, good and bad, and try to get her mind straight before going to this place in the basement. And that is Amira.
Excellent. So, right, you've had some time. I mean, I think we figured since you guys were so shot up that you were going to go back and rest for 6 hours or so, 5-6 hours, so everybody could get healed. Because they were in fact, two of you were broken. What you would know, to reference Ramon's situation, if you go by the route which is the only route that you really know of at this moment, through the sanitarium, you're going to have to sneak through the sanatorium to get to the basement. So wearing, first of all, even wearing an exo is certainly going to stick out, as will armor, as will any large weapons. So if you're going to bring that stuff with you, you're going to have to figure out a way to incorporate that into your plan to get into there, because you've already been to the sanatorium once and you know that it's not like you could just walk right past without some kind of a deceptive scheme. But at that, yeah, we'll call it the morning. So yes, your friend, the girl that you rescued, she is in fact was in fact there. She's not been up to much, She is basically trying to find her name now. Her name is
Althea.
Althea. Yep. Yeah, she's I'm right on that page. She is on, like I said, she's actually, I mean, having lived basically in the tunnels and now having this last day and a half basically staying in a beautiful apartment in the Spire, she's pretty chill. She doesn't report anything unusual happening while you were gone. So at least, as far as you can tell right now, the strike team or whatever does not know that she's there or didn't come to get her yet. You would imagine that, and I'm sure you probably kept guards, watching your security all night, but you would imagine that, of course, they know who you are at this point, because clearly they targeted you with Brother Ramas, but you don't know that for sure, of course. So yeah, what is the plan to get to the sanatorium, or is that your plan?
Well, I'd like to sit down with Althea at some point, and because we have a map, right, that we can pull up, the schematics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you've got a map.
kind of look that over with her and say, are you familiar with this? And is there any other way that we can get in there that we don't have to go through the sanatorium?
Yeah, actually, good. That's good. There is actually another way. There's only one other way that she knows of, and that is actually, the cellar itself is basically off limits, as you would know. That would give you a little bit of Coriolis information because you guys would know this. There's basically, illegal trade that goes on, and there's people that live down there that are kind of or outcasted. However, there is one kind of fairly well known to people such as out there, way down, which is the way that the guards get down. There is actually an elevator, the guards elevator. It's in the core plaza. There is where the headquarters of the Coriolis Guard is. There are 2 elevators there. It's used for service people and it's used for guard patrols because the guards make frequent sweeps down there to make sure that there's not anything illegal going on, or if you've listened to rumors, to make sure that anything illegal going on, they're getting pieces of it. So yes, there is actually an elevator, although it's obviously not for the public to use. You would need special permission to get down that way.
We might be able to get special permission.
It's good to have friends in high places.
We know a judge and a justicar.
Yeah.
Justicar, adjudicator, sorry.
Just
all these game systems.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, why don't you give her a call?
The judge?
Yeah, and see what she can manage. Of course, unless you believe that she's in on it, then giving her a call might be the wrong thing.
Yeah, you
I
actually
didn't get that vibe.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Just to clear, you have 2 communicators, right? One goes directly to the adjudicator that's been working with you, and you do have another one that goes directly to the judge. That she said to only use in emergencies. But yes.
In emergencies.
Yeah. I mean, I would say it's not an emergency. I'm just so you remember what you have.
Yes. Do we call it an emergency yet?
Well, yeah, I mean, they shot Brother Ramaz to death in the garden.
I think so.
And tried their very best to kill most of us. So I would say that we should ask for some help.
Yeah, I am all for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will use the judge's communicator.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, when you call on it, in the morning, I guess it would be, or maybe even that night, she would pretty much immediately pick up. And she knows it's you because it's a line she set up just for you. So she answers and she says, Mira, I heard there was a murder in the Garden of the Seekers.
Yes, there was. And that's why I'm calling. We might need some help.
Of course.
We didn't murder the guy. Don't worry about that. Just to say that.
Well, yes. I hope not.
In fact, he was a friend and a compatriot from the Ghazali I was meeting with when he was shot to death.
Yes. I heard that you did have some kind of issues on the Ghazali, but eventually left in friendship.
Yes.
So they say that he was shot through with some of these same rounds that were found in the walls of the emissary's apartment. And there were other areas of blood. Looks like others were hurt or killed. There was only one body found.
Well, None of my crew were killed. Thank goodness. Thank the icons. The judge was certainly watching over us at the time. And we know that these might be some Order of the Pariah martyrs that are involved anyway, if not behind this. And I know that's a tricky situation politically, so I'm not asking you to do anything about that. What I am asking is for access to a guard elevator. And you don't have to know why if you don't want to, but I need access to it with no questions.
The elevator to the cellar.
Yes.
Okay. I can send Akuba there to get you through. She will not be able to follow you into the cellar, though. That's a little. We must be more discreet than that. I trust that you can take care of yourselves.
We can. Well, most of the time, we can. I have confidence that we'll figure out what's going on here.
Very well. Akuba can meet you at the elevator in an hour.
That sounds reasonable, yes.
Okay. Well, may the icons keep you. Let me know if you need me again.
Thank you.
Chance up.
Yep. I look at Saeed and I'll say, the Judicator's going to meet us there and get us onto the elevator. She won't be able to come with us, but looks like we'll be able to get down that way, which I think is a better idea than trying to go through the sanatorium. So.
Yeah, I think so too. Of course, I don't know how kitted out we want to be. I mean, we're moving with some pretty heavy weapons, particularly for station. And I don't know. I would be comfortable, if we were all maxed out, but that's me. I'm going to err on that. And I know Rahman, being military, is going to err on that side. Cyrus, I don't know. I mean, we should talk with her. But I think Rahman and I would be comfortable with it. But
Okay.
if you want to go down where we're just minimum, we look like we're in street clothes, that's fine with me too. I trust your judgment.
Well, I mean, you walked to the garden in your armor. I mean, we'll have the Judicator at the guard's elevator. And anything we find in the cellar, I don't know if I care that they know we're in armor.
Right.
So perhaps maybe at least you and Rahman should be a little more heavily kitted out. We could probably make that fly. I'll have my fan, of course. I'll take one of the Dura knives, and I also have my cricket that I haven't carried yet, but I can always secrete that on my person.
Yes. Yeah. Well, let's talk to the others.
Yep.
Ask them what they think.
So we'll tell you guys, Rahman and Cyrus, and ask you what you want to do. I know, Cyrus, you're quite formidable with your robot arm by itself, but is there anything else you'd want to take? Or Rahman?
Rahman walks in from the kitchen with a large plate full of baklava and dates, and he says, he's got his mouth full of them, and he goes, it's pretty good. And he looks at you and says, what were we talking about?
We're talking about infiltrating the cellar of this place and solving this mystery, and you really like baklava, don't you?
I certainly do. And then he puts it down. And he holds up his finger and looks to Said and says, "You know, I've been thinking. Uh, I think it is correct that wearing a exosuit down there would make me stick out like a sore thumb. Maybe we should go with one of those protective clothing that the assassins were wearing. Not the exact same color, but the same type of armor."
Did Daniel? Did we field strip those guys?
No, you didn't want to
No.
wait.
That's right.
You just took
Okay.
you took their firearms.
The weapons. Yep.
Yeah, and I think their knives because they had them on their sides, but it would have taken time. I gave you an option there if you wanted to wait for it. Yeah, that kind of armor is quite expensive and not something you can just pick up on in an hour on the way down.
Well,
and-
I could talk to Nana. She might have some armor, but that would probably be work for Amira and Cyrus, and not us.
That is true. Well, perhaps it would be best to just go in there. We wouldn't look like we're going down there to raid uh, um, a headquarter full of these Order of Pariah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you
We
wanted
wouldn't want to
to
look that way.
if you wanted to say that you had like protective clothing, that's probably fine. Like anybody could have had that because that's fairly common. It is 1,000 beer, so make note of it if you want to have that, and that'll give you an armor of 3. But not the stuff they had was light armor. That's a little different. But
Right.
you could have protective clothing. I mean, anybody like Cyrus and Rahman or in a mirror, you could have that. It kind of looks like regular clothing, but it's
Yeah. If you
Maybe
guys want
special
that, just let
purpose.
me know and I'll take it out of the ship funds. Like I'll say that we got it out of the ship funds.
yeah, exactly. You're not going to go buy it now,
want-
but we'll say that's something you guys
Right,
probably
right.
have because that's something that people might just naturally have.
Kind of
I just want to
standard.
make a note of it for the funding. Yeah.
Ah, it's just that.
'Cause I'm an accountant now. So Ramon, Cyrus, if you want that, just let me know so that I can mark it down.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
1,000 beer each.
It's coming out of our salaries, right?
No,
Just
no. I said I would take. I would have provided that with you with ship funds, so I was just going to take it out of the ship stuff.
Cool. I was just kidding.
What about you, Cyrus?
Yeah, Cyrus is fine going down there with her robot arm.
Do you want the clothing, the protective clothing?
If you want to,
Yep.
Pay for it, sure.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, that'll give you 3 armor points. So whenever you're hit, you would roll 3 dice, and any 6s you get takes away 1 hit. That's how that works.
Got it.
Okay, yeah, and obviously any of you guys, even Saeed could have it as for when you don't want to wear your full on. What
Yes,
armor do you have?
I didn't
Heavy
know
armor?
what you wanted.
Yeah. What's that? I have
What
heavy
armor-
armor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have heavy armor, which is way better. But like if you didn't want to wear it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, now you probably want to wear it, but I'm saying like in the future. I feel like
I'll say you
protective
have
clothing's
some
something
though, just because.
Yeah. It probably makes
Okay.
sense for you guys to have that stuff.
Probably as a bodyguard, I had it.
Yeah.
It'd make sense.
All right. So we all have protective clothing. So what kind of are you going down in full kit then, darling, Saeed?
Yes, I will. You think we can get away with taking the Vulcans down with us, or we're going to have to go a little quieter?
I think you might be able to. I don't know about Ramon.
Well, I'll be happy with my pistol that Said has lent me.
Yeah, I think Ramon is licensed, so you technically can carry it, but again, it's going to draw attention. But if you want to sneak it down or something, if
And
you're
I'll take
licensed,
my fan and a dur knife and a cricket.
okay, but you're not licensed, right? So you're going to hide it.
Yes, so I'm gonna hide.
Be okay. All
The
right. Yeah.
crickets are pretty tiny, so I should be.
Oh yeah,
able
the
to
cricket. The
hide.
cricket you can hide in your turban. Not an accelerator pistol.
I don't
Yeah,
wear
yeah.
turban, darling.
No, the cricket is the little tiny gun. Yeah. I mean, probably not actually in return, but that's something you could hide. That's what it's for. It's like a little baby gun. Okay, good. So you guys are heading down. Oh yeah, okay, that's fine. So, but if you hadn't already before you made the call, because obviously you would have known you had this stuff. So, you make the call and you're able to head down towards the main core. Being that it's now day 3 since the emissary has gone missing, you see that there are far fewer people kind of caught in the fever of what's going on. Although those that are remaining seem to be the most hardcore. So you see some pretty radical looking people. Jumping up and down and screaming it's the end of the world as we know it. But there's way fewer people, so the getting down through there is pretty easy. Are you hiding the Vulcan carbine? Or are you just walking with it?
It's kind of hard to, well, like you said.
Yeah, I mean you have to put it in a bag or something.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, yeah, if you're walking around the Vulcan carbine, as soon as you get anywhere near the guard station, of course they come out and they check your license, which you have one.
Yeah.
And of course the adjudicator is showing up at the same time, and she waves them off and says, these civilians have a permit from the adjudicators to use the elevator to get down to the lower docks. So the guards kind of give a dirty look, but they know that they're outranked. So you're able to get into the elevators. Of course, the guards are looking at you, and of course they're looking at her because she's this decked out power armor. And you guys pass through the elevators that go down. There's 2 of them. So basically, you've got your core, guard offices, and then you've got like your adjudicator, like fancy offices next to it, and then in between there's two elevators, and they're of course run by guards. Before anybody else is around, Akuba says to you, "I'll ride down with you, but I'm not allowed to actually enter the cellar per orders of the judge. If you get into any real problems, send a signal and we'll do what we can. But we're trying to keep this, confidential."
Understandable.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, you get in the elevator with Akuba. 2 guards that run the elevators get in with you, and again they're kind of like giving a side eye at you all, not very like, or we're gonna that kind of look. They don't say anything though. And you ride down through the core, getting lower in the station probably than most of you have ever been. The elevator clanks down at the bottom, and when it opens up, Akua kind of nods her like see you later thing, and you step out into pretty much a different world. The cellar is light fixtures that buzz and turn on and off randomly, dripping sounds everywhere. You look around, you see that there's rodents running around. You've kind of, as the elevator's leaving, you look down the corridor, you can see like a junkie like kind of passed out on the side with another junkie like stealing stuff from their pockets. As you kind of look, they get up and run away. And you're on the space station still, but it feels very different down here. Let's see. There's a little, it's not really box text, but there's like a description of the cellar, so you guys get the atmosphere. It's absolutely pitch black around you, and the only sounds come from the ventilation of condensation dripping off the ancient cooling system. In front of you, things move in the darkness, slithering across the floor. It's a dark undercarriage of Coriolis, twisted and shadowed. So you are basically down in the cellar now. Now, you don't really, you know how to get to where the sanatorium, because you have the map, where you could go back up into the sanatorium. That doesn't help you much. Your map really only brought you down this far. So you need to go down deeper, but you're just not exactly sure how. So you're essentially exploring to try to find a way down. And what you're going to find as you're kind of traveling along is multiple hatches that would have ladders and stuff that are actually like soldered shut, you know, with notices on there by the guard, off limits. You know that there's stairs or a cellar or some way to get down, but you're not exactly sure where exactly that would be. So you're going to be just traveling. You guys can, everybody can roll observation actually, so everybody can actually do it because it's more of a generic task.
Observation.
Yeah, just a regular straight observation. Ah.
Nope.
All right. So Saeed's on it. You guys are kind of traveling down. You're able to kind of make your way towards what you believe is the center. Like you have that original. I shared that with you guys, right? I'll pop it open again. Share it again. That map from Brother Hamas.
Yeah.
And you know that there's a central shaft, essentially, that you need to follow to get down towards the central shaft, or you need to get down into towards this like slumbers area, because you know that you're going to go down that far. Because you know that the Martyr Strike team base is somewhere down below. So, Saeed, through Saeed's observation, you're able to kind of get yourselves centered and heading towards what would be the middle of the space, and you come upon more of like the cellar area. As you're approaching, Amira, I think only Amira, you're the only one that has Mystic as a trait, right? You must pass another observation test, but with a -1.
Okay. -1. Okay. No.
Okay. Yeah, you don't know exactly where it comes from, but all of a sudden you feel like dizzy, almost like something hit you. And you probably like fall to your knees, and you can smell in the air like burnt ozone, like you've probably smelled stun guns being used before, and you think for a second that maybe you were hit by a stun gun, but as you kind of look around, probably the rest of the party all looks at you like because you just dropped the gun. They see that nothing hit you. They're probably like, "What's wrong?" And you actually feel like a shiver going through your whole body. And everyone else has this kind of like almost like the Coriolis itself kind of like shifts under your feet, and you feel a bit nauseous. It's not any kind of a penalty or for rolls or anything, but you all feel like a bit like kind of nauseous for a second, but nobody nearly as bad as Amira. However, Amir, when you kind of look up, you can look up from where you were. You see a glint of metal, and you can see that there's an I-beam like in front of you, and jammed between the I-beam and like the platform you guys were on is a Vulcan carbine.
Just the gun. I don't see some.
It's just jammed in there, from what you can tell. I mean, you have to go look at it, obviously.
As I'm collapsed onto my knees here, I would say, Saeed, I see. I'll be all right. Don't worry about me, darling. But there's a carbine stuck over there, and I'll point it out to Saeed.
Yeah, and I'll point at Rahman and I'll say, "Hey, can you check that out?"
Yeah, Raman points the scope on his gun to have a closer look to see whether if it's like rigged to blow up or something. He's afraid that it might be a booby trap.
You could roll observation.
I'm also going to check over Amira real quick, look at her pupils, breathing, pulse.
I will ask you, do you smell ozone?
No, but I'm a little nauseated.
Well, don't look at me. It wasn't me.
You also feel nauseated. Boy, everyone does. Yeah, you don't see anything over there that seems to make it look like dangerous from where you're standing. Anyways, it's pretty far away. It's like at least 20 meters away. This carbine.
I'll go ahead and check it out, Said. You look after Amira and Cyrus too.
Yep.
And he starts walking towards that gun. But if there's shadow, he's gonna try and stick close to it. He's gonna use his infiltration skill to not be conspicuous.
Okay, go ahead. You can infiltrate. Nice. Yeah, I mean, you're walking quietly. The whole place is basically shadowy, and like some lights are on, and you got like the lights burning on and off, so you kind of walk around, so you stay basically out of the main view of the area. As you get close to the thing, and probably because you're being so paranoid, you probably jump back for a second because you get about a meter away from this thing or 2 meters away, like as you're getting a better look at it, and it falls to the ground and clangs pretty noisily, actually. And then you look around and there's nobody around. It's almost like it was just like because it was like stuck to the side, and now it's on the ground.
Raman takes a look at the gap where it was lodged in.
Yeah.
Does he find anything?
Nope, nothing there. You can what you do see there is actually you're looking around and you look at the gap, you don't see anything, and of course you're trying to be thorough, so you look up. And you can actually see that it looks like it probably fell from a platform above because you can see there's a large enough space up there. And based on how it was like kind of lodged in, it looks like it got jammed into the pillar from up there, like by falling.
Does it look like someone may have dropped it and then got stuck there? If so, then Raman's gonna try and see if he could, pull himself up. If there's a gap, he's gonna, try and look through it.
You're gonna try to climb up to the platform?
Yeah.
Okay, you can do that. Yeah, it's easy enough to do. Yeah, you kind of, it's not it's a hallway, so it's like 15 feet tall, but you're able to grab onto the pillar and kind of or scramble up a bit, and you kind of poke your head over, and you do see another platform up there, and you see what looks to be a shattered helmet, like part of like a battle armor. You see like pieces of it.
Yeah, he mutters to himself, "Welcome to the underbelly of Coriolis," and he looks around to see whether if there are any aggressors hiding.
No, you don't see anything. You could look, but there's nobody there.
He's gonna climb up and try and pick that up and examine what sort of markings it has.
Okay, yeah, it's pretty much just fragmented. It looks like something you could buy, anywhere. It's probably black market. It's black. And it doesn't have any kind of symbols on it, so it's not from any kind of like official force that you've ever heard of.
Is it bloody?
No, it is not.
He looks up to see whether if there are like some kind of a structure or a ladder that leads up from that point.
No, there's not. But what you do see is more passageways that lead off and left and right, basically.
Yeah, he's gonna take that helmet and climb down. He'll also grab that gun and bring it back to Amita and Saeed and Cyrus. And he says, "Well, these are what I found down there. This helmet looks black, and it may have belonged to the Order of the Pariah. I cannot say."
And there was nothing else up there?
No, I could not find anything else.
Well, we know they're down here.
Yeah. And who knows what distance it fell.
Do you want to add this rifle to your arsenal, Said?
To the one I already have? Yeah, I could. Do you want it?
I do not need it. I'd say carry it just in case you run out of ammunition on the other one.
Yeah. Cyrus, do you need one?
I was about to say, Cyrus, do you want it?
Oh, is that a gun?
A
It's a
carbine,
Vulcan
yeah.
carbine.
I had one. I just don't have any ammo for it, right?
Well, you didn't bring it with you, right?
Oh, okay. I didn't
Yeah, because you're not
We had
licensed,
like what,
right?
3 of them or something.
Right,
We
but your
picked up
character's
the
not
guns from those other guys.
right. You're not licensed though, right?
I am not. No.
Yeah, so you couldn't have carried it through. That's why you didn't bring it through. But of course, you obviously have one now, if you would like to.
Yeah, if you want it.
Yeah, I'll
Did
take
you-
one. I'll go shoot some people illegally. I'm sure nothing bad can come of that.
Certainly, don't worry about it.
I don't
Yeah. It
think
happens all
the
the time
law
for me.
comes down here. So
Roman's my best friend. Oh wait, no, he's not. Never mind.
Don't trust your mom. Yeah, it's up to you. You weren't licensed, so you couldn't walk through the guard station with a Vulcan carbine. I mean, it would draw our attention anyways, but not being licensed is definitely would not be ideal. But of course, now you've got one.
Hey, you, show me your license. Here's my license.
That would probably have to be a smart move.
That is the idea, Cyrus. You'll go far in life with that. And he smiles.
Yes, I
Oh,
knew
boy.
you would appreciate that, Ramon. I should make you my best friend again.
As you guys are discussing this, you hear the sound of like machinery kind of grating, like coming from down the corridor.
I'll go up further. I'll stick to
Okay.
the side.
All right. Is everybody going to wait to see what he
Check.
sees, or are you going to just kind of follow?
Do we still feel nauseous, or are we?
You do a little bit. The rest of them, not so much.
Okay.
Raman taps Saeed's shoulder and he goes, "What was that feeling that we just had?"
Anxiety? I think that's what it is. I know I'm feeling a little anxious.
It felt like the whole place moved a little bit.
Yeah. That's why I'm wondering if, if there's something going on, if there's some other field that's acting down here that we're not seeing.
And Amira, she nearly fainted.
Yes. That has me concerned.
Should I stay back here with Amira?
Yeah, unless you want to go ahead. I mean, I know you're probably more sneaky than I am.
I think that may be a good idea. Besides, she's better off with you protecting her. I'll be right back. And he starts going forward, sticking to the shadows again.
Okay.
Does this carbine have any kind of scope or anything like that?
No, it's just a straight up Vulcan carbine.
Okay, and is it loaded with just like the original ammo that comes in it?
It
Or
has
is it
those
the,
the very illegal silent ammo.
Oh, the silent ammo. Okay,
Yep.
cool. I got to figure out what that's called again.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I can tell you in a second. Hold on one second.
No, that's fine. I'll look it up. I'll figure it out.
I don't think it has a very specific name, but it's like a illegal. It's not something you can normally buy.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was the V stuff. I can't remember what it's
Oh
called.
no, it's not that. No, it's not. It's
But-
not the. It's not flechettes. It's not. Not. This is different.
Okay, yeah. No, I'll look up the silent ammo.
Yeah. This will go right through the side of the ship. This is not that. This is something different. Okay, so but you're in the middle of the ship, so you don't have to worry too much about shooting. If you shoot a hole in the side of the Coriolis space station and it rapidly decompresses, that'd be a terrible way to end the campaign. But you're not.
But it would be epic.
It would in fact be epic, but I don't. Yeah, but you would know. I mean, that you're not. That it would be very difficult to do that down here because you're pretty far from the edges. Not impossible, but pretty difficult. Anyways, yes, you sneak up, Rahman, and you hear. Before you hear a couple of male voices. They seem to be kind of shouting over the sound of this like this crunching sound, and they seem to be swearing about some kind of a gambling debt or something. It's hard to you owe me $10, 10 beer, blah blah, and they're like kind of. And when you kind of peek around the corner, you see that there's two workers. They seem to be doing some welding, and standing kind of like very bored and but on duty are a couple of guards. They're dressed, in the normal guard outfit. They have just, except, they just have like pistols, and most of the station guard doesn't have heavy weapons. They've got like light armor and Vulcan carbines. No, not carbines, Vulcan pistols.
Yeah, Raman returns to the rest of the group and he says, "I see a couple of guards and a few workers down there. They seem to be gambling."
Oh, also, I guess you couldn't help but notice this. As you were heading down there, about halfway there, you actually saw an elevator, and you're not sure if it works or not, unless you want to stop and check it out. But you saw an elevator, which is the first one you've seen since the one that brought you down here.
Yeah, being Raman, he presses the button to see whether if it works.
Okay. Yeah. When you press the button, it actually you hear it. And it stops at the floor. It does that thing that like old elevators do, where it's like, and the door opens, and the light kind of flickers inside.
Yeah, Raman looks at it and he says, "It looks not very safe, but it may save us quite a bit of time." And he returns to the group and he relays that information exactly.
Sorry, Daniel. Do I have any reloads for this Vulcan carbine?
No, not unless he's got a bunch that he can share, because he just found the gun.
Okay.
I don't
cool.
have a reload for my own carbine. I think you said we had enough ammo for one, right?
Well, you found on the guys, but since you had carbines before, I said you could have a couple of reloads back at Amira's apartment, because that would make sense.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, you can.
I'll give her a couple of reloads then.
Yeah, you guys can have it. We'll say you had 4 reloads. That seems like a reasonable amount to keep on hand, 1 for each.
Yeah.
So if you want to give 2 to those, of course, are regular bullets.
Well, what do you think, Captain? Should we take the elevator? It may save us a great deal of time.
It might. It might also be obvious, but what do you think, Saeed?
Well, they're not looking for us coming one way or the other. I
Hey,
think if we take it,
maybe what we should do. You remember that one movie where that guy like takes the elevator down to like a floor that he's not actually getting off of, and then he gets out of the elevator like from the top, and then he like forces the doors open above the elevator, and gets off on a level that they're not expecting. Let's do that.
Oh, I remember that movie. Die Not Easily. Yes.
That one. That was such a good movie.
Yes.
He's like walking on all that glass barefooted.
yeah,
But
but
I-
we don't know what floor we need to get off on.
Well, let's just pick a floor and then get off on the floor above that one. Duh.
I don't think we need to go around destroying the elevator doors. That might make things conspicuous.
And
Well-
harder to get back up, I think.
Without
We're not
without
gonna
knowing
destroy
where
them,
to
we'll just,
go
like-
exactly,
just,
it
like-
may be difficult.
I mean, just pry the doors open, right? And then they'll just close back on their own. They got sensors to do that kind of stuff.
She is correct. But have we not the map?
We do, but I don't think it doesn't. We don't know exactly where this
Yeah.
special room is.
I think we're off the map, right?
Oh, actually, if you are, since you have the map, so it's vibro ammo. Special copper alloy vibro ammo.
Oh, vibro ammo is the stuff that's like doesn't go through space stations.
Okay, so then it is then. All right, so you know that you need somewhere down in the 3rd sphere is the it says Martyr Strike Team. You don't know where it is down there. This elevator is basically right here in the central shaft. You're kind of like does it show the elevator? Doesn't show it obviously, but the elevator is like somewhere like I don't know. I can't tap on that unfortunately. It's like you see where it says the central shaft is like a line coming out and it kind of stops. That's basically where you're right near there, basically. You're a little bit to the side of that. So you don't know how far down you need to go to get to where they are, but you know that they're low. So.
Well,
How low should we go?
yeah. I suppose we get in the elevator and we go.
Well, I always like going down to the lowest and working our way up top.
Back up.
That way we don't miss things.
I smile at Saeed and I'll say, I was just thinking that. You're so brilliant, my love.
It's because we've been together for so long. You realize that. Yeah, I'm rubbing off on you and you're rubbing off on me.
Then again, we could be diving into the deep belly of the beast. Perhaps we should stop by and talk to those people who are down here to get more information.
Ramon, I'm surprised at you. Are you afraid to dive into the belly of the beast, my friend?
No, I would do it for an instant, without a second thought. But then again, you have always said that I take too much risk.
I mean, I never said that, Ramon. I said that you were an idiot. It's Amira and Saeed that said you took too much risk.
Same thing.
Well, I think if we talk to them, I mean, granted, if the guards haven't already alerted anyone down here, I just don't want to risk talking to someone else who's going to alert the other side or who else.
For you and I, or even Cyrus, I would say the same thing, but we have our captain with us. She has her way with her words, no?
Yes. That's true.
Well, I still think we should head to the bottom and work our way back up. I still think that's the best idea, myself.
And I think that's a great idea too.
Then it is decided. Let us do so.
Okay. Yeah, so you're going to get into the elevator and just press the lowest floor that's there.
We're going down as far as we can go.
Going down.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Fair enough. Seems like the right way to do it. I can imagine. All right.
We're on a rocket ship to hell.
Express elevator to hell. Going down.
That's right.
As soon
You get in
as
the elevator.
they're in the elevator, Ramon's gonna mess with the ceiling to see whether if there's a little service portal, and if so, he's gonna try and see if he could pry that open to hide above the actual elevator room.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that probably is. It must be. That's how elevators are set up, right? You get up and you start messing with that, and you guys press the low floor, and the elevator starts. The doors, and you stop hearing the guys swearing and doing their work. The elevator starts to go down. You're looking around. You'll need to make some kind of a test to do that, but before that happens, the elevator starts. It seems like it's going faster and faster, which seems a little bit unusual as you're doing that. It's definitely going faster than most elevators that you typically ride on.
Almost like darkness affected it somehow.
Possibly.
Almost,
So yes, the elevator
yeah.
is dropping quickly. Yes.
I wouldn't know what would cause that.
Don't know. What could you possibly do? Let's see.
Ramon, you're up top, right?
Well, he's gonna try and open up that little hatch, but I don't know whether
you can do that.
he's succeeding.
Infiltration for that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's you got the hatch. Obviously, you've got the panel inside the elevator with the buttons and everything, and a little phone that you call the fire department when you get stuck. Go ahead and roll infiltration to get through the panel.
I rolled and it failed.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, by the deckhand, this has to work. And he tries again.
Okay. Even though you prayed to the wrong icon, but it still works. Baseless one for attrition. Yeah. So you kind of swear a little bit, and then you put your screwdriver underneath or whatever, and you pop it, and yeah, you look up and you can see that there's it's a pretty narrow opening, but you think you can squeeze through there, and you can see actually some sparks coming off the wheels of the elevator because it seems like it's going awful fast as you're going down.
Cyrus, I think I need your help up here. This elevator doesn't seem like it's going to stop when we hit the bottom.
Oh,
I'll help Cyrus up into the hole.
That might be the wrong way to say it. So it's definitely going to stop when you hit the bottom.
I mean, what do you want me to do?
We want to fix it.
Try to stop it. Yeah.
I think the control panel is messed up.
Is it? Did we try to press the button to stop it?
This is a technology roll. I don't know. There's a lot I can do.
Well, can I try to press the button to stop it?
Yeah, when you press the emergency button to stop it, you see the panel. Like the panel looks like it's like lighting up and like resetting. It's like.
All right, I got my advanced tools. Can I? Oh, Daniel, I'm gonna use my gear head. I'm gonna use my advanced tools. I'm gonna rig up my gear head real quick. I'm gonna like clip some cables to the box car, and I'm gonna quickly jury rig up a clamp to clamp onto the rope using my gear head, and then I can use my technology roll to stop this car.
Could I assist her so that she gets a bonus?
Yes, you get +1, right? If he helps you, 1 die.
And also, my advanced tools give me a +1.
I think this would be not advanced because it's an elevator.
Okay, all right. Well, use my advanced
However, your regular tools could do. You could get technology +1 because of the help, and but it's a difficult technology roll, so -2. So I guess +1 or -1 total.
It's a minus.
What was the gearhead give you? What's that?
With my gearhead is my ability. I can make a technology roll to do one specific task, and my technology roll is like the bonus I get to it. I think. Hold on, let me look that up again real quick.
Is that a general talent?
Yes, it is.
Okay, yeah. Let's see how it works. Successful technology test. You can repair an item during one. Okay, yeah. That's fine. I mean, you could technically, based on the module, you could do this with the regular technology roll. So I'll give you a +1 because you have a gearhead.
Okay.
So you'll just roll 1 for Ramon helping you and 1 for your gearhead. So basically, you'll roll it straight.
Okay, and then I have a -2 because it's hard.
That's right. So basically,
okay.
0. Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna put that into the thing, to the roll.
Yeah. So it should be.
All right, here we go. Let's see what happens. Did I roll it? I think I did, right?
I don't see anything.
Syntax invalid, the left-hand side. What?
Oh.
Hold on. Oh, I see what I did.
That feels like a failed technology
I put in. No, I put in my negative wrong. Well, see, because it says negative, so I always think I should go like down 1 or 2, right? But no, like you're supposed to go up 1 or 2 because you have 2 negatives. Which doesn't make any sense to me. It makes sense, but then like my head gets it backwards. Either way, 2 success.
Nice. Yeah, I guess because what it is how many dice you have, not so you have -2 dice. That is weird.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. If the you
are.
So
Cyrus quickly like pulls out her tools and she gets up there and she's like, Ramon, get your ass up here. I need your help. And she's like, hold this. And he holds whatever she tells him to hold. And then she like clamps in shit. And the elevator, I'm going to guess, begins to slow down.
Yep, it does. The elevator, the brake kicks in, the emergency brake, and it makes a terrible, terrible screeching sound. and then you kind of it probably would be like a knee buster, like when you hit the ground where it stops so suddenly, but it's not, and you realize that probably because of bad maintenance, the gravity is off in the lower part of the Coriolis space station. So you guys are actually in a bit of a low gravity area, which probably helped you a lot to not get hurt as you came down. Plus, obviously, you stopped that. Well done. And yeah,
Captain,
you go ahead.
I'm going to guess because of bad maintenance, the gravity is off down here.
Thank you, Cyrus.
Oh, yeah, you got it, babe. I mean, Saeed.
Okay, yeah. So
This
yeah,
reminds
the
me of
door.
the time that I was going through the 0G training, and then he pushes himself down with ease.
Yeah, it's not that bad. But everybody is going to be -1 on dexterity, melee combat, and force. I guess unless you have the 0G training, which I guess you would not have to worry about. No.
Well, if you have the 0G, you still have the -2. You just get a +2. So, like, it kind of evens out, basically.
Oh, hold on. You get a negative. Yeah. Well, anyways,
like
yes, what you're saying is right. So
in
everybody's
0G,
going to get a
you get a
-1
-2.
on. Right. Everybody while you're in this area is a -1 on. I'm going to write in the thing: dexterity, melee combat, and if you have bonuses, obviously they will flatten those out. Right. That's the better way to do it. That way it's cleaner. Melee and force. And if you have something that gives you a bonus to counteract that, then that is also wonderful. But any of those things you test down here are going to be minus. Okay, I wrote that in the chat. That way everybody's good. All right, yeah. So you're at the bottom. Well, you're as low as you're going to go, I guess, because you stopped the elevator. But you feel like you're pretty much at the bottom. Because you know, as traditional in all adventure stories, you just stop it before it hits the very bottom. And yeah, you're in an elevator at the bottom of the shaft.
Oh, no sense waiting around. Good work, Cyrus and Rahman.
Yeah.
Let's get going.
Well done.
No problem, boss.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I wanted to live too, so no problem.
Bit of fancy work there, Cyrus. Very
So there you
impressed.
guys are kind of coming out
Well,
of the.
I mean, thank you for
Nice.
holding the gravitonal, clamp relay. Couldn't have done it if you hadn't done that.
Okay. Cool. Well done. All right. Yeah. You guys pull the elevator door open. And you're looking out into basically a set of hallways. As you can imagine, it looks even worse than when you were further up. The walls are basically covered in like areas of rust where the water is just dripped down, and the condensation is formed. You can hear kind of clanking fan motors from the air vents and everything down here. The ceiling is even more kind of patchworked with various types of light, and you can actually see on the sides of the area there's like panels where like the front panels have been taken off, and there's like missing fuses and stuff as you kind of look around, and every once in a while sparks just kind of as you're kind of looking around this place, and you are in the
What is
cellar.
the nausea? I mean, I know obviously we just had an elevator ride that would have caused anyone to be nauseous, but I mean the general nausea that I was feeling.
Yeah, that actually has started. Right, exactly. You feel very nauseous after the elevator ride, but as everybody's kind of getting their grips together, that has passed.
Okay.
You no longer smell ozone, and nobody feels nauseous anymore. Although you're feeling a little bit odd because of the gravity being off. You can tell it's not. It's even really awkward, even if you're used to low gravity, because it's not like low gravity like outside a ship. It's like weird, unbalanced gravity.
Okay. Well, let's see what we find.
Cool.
And she'll
Yeah.
start walking.
Yep.
Okay. It doesn't take long before you kind of reach what is effectively the end of the line. It's kind of, you're kind of going down this set of hallways, which or a set of, I keep saying set, a hallway that connects the elevator, and you basically encounter a very large door, like you'd normally see like on an airlock, and it is actually closed. And you can see that on this side of it, the panel that you would normally use to access it has been removed. You can just see the wires hanging down from where they took the panel.
But it looks like an obvious airlock. Is that what
Well,
you said?
like a very heavy duty door, like an airlock type door. Not an airlock, but like a very like big door, like you'd
Okay.
have.
Yeah.
Like you don't think
This
you can
look-
walk out of the ship if you open it. No, you know it's not an
Right,
airlock.
okay.
It's like a. But unlike
The
the rest of
serv-
the place, which just had regular like interior doors, this has like a big heavy duty door.
Right.
Looks to Saeed and says, "This looks like a blast shield."
It kind of reminds me of that. And he goes, so how smooth are you with blast shield wires?
Well, I've worked with them in the past, but I think this is more of a side assist department. I could help once more.
Yeah, where is Cyrus? Looks
What's that?
behind.
She's back to admiring her work at the elevator. As you're kind of looking at this setup here, trying to figure out if you can probably pop it open or not, you actually hear like a crackling, and you look up and you see there's like a very old speaker, like it looks like somebody bought it at Radio Shack in 1978. It's like stuck on the wall. It looks like it's loosely wired in with like these like wires, and it crackles and you hear a voice and it says, "What business do you have with Queen Elmeda? Do you come to trade?"
We have information for her. And he kind of looks at Amira and shrugs his hands.
We do have information and we come seeking information. So I suppose there would be a trade.
You're in luck. It's market day. And then you hear like a hissing sound, and the doors kind of vibrate for a second, and they pull apart about halfway. And you see standing there two men. They are. To say that they are wearing armor would be kind of an overstatement. They've got what is effectively armor on, but it seems to be homemade from the electrical plates from that you can see clearly is on missing in areas, strapped on with wires. They've got some pipe that with sharpened points at the end for spears, and they kind of they're standing there and they open the gate and they say. They look at you, of course, and they say, "Oh, you're not allowed to bring those weapons in here. We'll have to hold on to them until you're done trading."
Well, you seem. I'll look at Saeed and I'll say, just give me a second. Why? What are you doing down here?
We're guarding the door.
Guarding the door. From whom?
From people that aren't supposed to be here. What do you mean? But from whom? Who do you normally guard for?
Well, I mean, do people often try to come down here and take things?
Well, not necessarily to take things, but to trade. And we must have order in the kingdom.
Kingdom.
Which
Well, it's not
kingdom?
really a kingdom. It's more of a colony, we'll call it. Well, we haven't got it full. Really, there's no official name for it. If we're being honest, but this is the court of the Queen, Almeida, and This is our home, and everyone has a right to defend their home. Don't you agree?
Well, that is true. Yes, that is true. Everyone has the right to defend their home. I
There's
look
good
at
trade
Saeed
today.
and I say, well, you could give up your weapon and come with us, or you could wait. I don't think they're going to let you take that.
And he goes, "This is what you're worried about?" And I show him the carbine.
Yeah. Oh, we're not worried. It's just the official policy. We can't just let anybody walk around with a weapon. It's you got to be a guard.
Well, he's
Okay.
my guard.
Right,
Yeah.
but he's not a guard of here. In your court, you could have him have a weapon, but in Almeida's court, only the official guard are allowed to have a weapon.
Raman leans over to Amira and whispers, "Have you ever heard of this Almeida before, Amira?"
I don't think I would have. Would I?
You can roll culture.
Okay. I've been on the station, but I don't know. Okay, hang on. Culture.
It's gonna be -2 though.
-2. Okay.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, limited success. One success.
Ah, okay. Well, you have heard the name. If it's the same person, you'd have to see her to know. But Elmida del Paranaso, she was actually the first countess of the Paranaso clan, which is headed for the monolith. But there was basically an issue with the families, and she was, we won't say left at the altar, but kind of abandoned, and it kind of hurt her reputation. And you haven't heard much from her for years, if it's the same person.
Okay. I would relay this information. You said the monolith, right?
Yeah,
Kuro, right?
she's from exactly. She's a Gemini, I guess. Would that make sense? Yeah. She's
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll look at Ramon, who's also from Kua, and say, surely you must have heard this story at some point.
I will invoke the Truth Seeker ability, if you guys are okay with it, to find out if.
I mean, I don't want to give the DM darkness points, but it's up to you.
I want to find out whether if she is, from what we know, whether if she's related to the Order of the Pariah and is a hostile or not.
Well, being hegemony, it's unlikely. I would just say that.
Okay. Well, I mean, then without invoking it.
Personally, I think that.
Yeah, I'm gonna trust Amir on this. So he says, "Well, you and I are both from Kua, and it seems like if she was one of the people of the monolith, it makes sense that she would not be friends of Order of the Pariah."
So,
and he takes out his weapon and says, "Well, if you think it wise, I would be willing to part with my weapon."
I hate to give up weapons. Oh.
To face danger without weapons, it'll be exciting.
I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Here you go, buddy. Here's my weapon. Take it from me, pal.
Yeah, we'll take it. Saeed?
Saeed will hand over the carbine.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, they take your name or whatever, and they like they've got like a cardboard box on the side, and they like kind of scratch your name into the side of it, and they lean your weapon there. And then one of them will walk with you to the court of the queen. So this place is huge. You would imagine, like, because you live on the Spire, and you've been to the Spire because you went to the emissary's place, and you know that on the Spire it's almost ridiculous, like how tall the ceilings are and how the space is so huge, but the sky looks like the the stars and all sorts of stuff. So imagine that, but without all the beauty. It's basically this huge space that you're stepping into, ceiling that goes up beyond what you could even imagine. You do see a few things sparkling up there, but they're bare bulbs just hanging up there, reflecting off an oily roof. The grounds itself seem to be composed of a village, created via tents made of cardboard and looks like spare parts and metal and rugs that have been pulled together. Kind of in a big circle. There is like a courtyard in the center where you see people with rugs laid out, and they seem to be trading like a market. But just beyond that, you see 4 tents that probably at some point in their existence were kind of beautiful, but now that they're yellowed and they've been torn and re-sewed so many times that they're definitely lost their any kind of beauty they may have had. And this is where he leads you to the court of the queen.
It is like the mirror image of the Spire, Said.
Yes, just the underside.
Okay, so let's see. The queen.
Trying to form her own little peacock troop here.
Yeah.
Raman leans over to Amira and says, "You still have the cricket with you?"
Yes, I do. Shh. And my fan.
And I still have my sword snapped into my armor, so
Say somewhere I also have a Dura knife, so
I was gonna say I think we're
If something happens, may I borrow and use the cricket?
don't worry. We'll get through this.
And
Yeah,
he
I mean,
nods.
I assume all those small weapons you had hidden, and they did not search you. They kind of just asked you for anything that was obvious. Yeah. Yeah. If you were wearing any obvious weapon, they wouldn't have let you in. But if everything is hidden that you're describing, then yeah, you easily have it. Yeah. So you reach the area. So as described, you come under these tents, and you can see that she's sitting. Let's see. Weapons. You got that. See, this is where I would have box text. I don't have any needed box text here. So she is quite beautiful. You notice immediately upon seeing her, and she's wearing what would amount to like a ball gown, but probably like 5 years ago fashion. It's clean, immaculately clean, and her makeup is perfect. Unlike the dirty people that you see everywhere, she looks good, if not dated, we'll say, in her clothing. It's definitely heterogeneous, so you know that heterogeneous. How is that? She so you can tell that she's definitely, yeah. You can pretty much actually, since you heard of her, you can see as soon as you see her. Because one other thing stands out that you remember is that she was known for having this like robotic, for lack of a better word, snake. And it's kind of slithering around her feet as she sits on what is a throne, which is just basically a very, very nice chair set up on a few things. As you come in, she kind of looks, looks down her nose at you, and she says, not seen you traders in this area before. You wish to make trade with the queen?"
We do, Queen Almeida. I hope today finds you well.
Yes, it does. Market day is always a fine time.
We are new to this area. What kinds of goods do you normally trade?
To the ones like you, I mostly trade in passage and information.
Yes.
I don't think you'd want what they sell out there. And she kind of, looks down. You as you were walking through, you probably saw they mostly are half junk.
Well, we certainly are information seekers, and we also need to pass through here.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Then perhaps we can come to an agreement. You notice, by the way, that as now that you're in here, you're kind of looking around. As you start talking to her, the crowd starts to clear. You can see that set back in the crowd, but they don't leave. Are four Nekatra.
Oh, Nigatras.
Yep, and they are dressed. They're not the ones you saw before were like naked. These ones are like armed because you do know that they're trained to use weapons. So they look
Okay.
Rugged, but still, you would imagine still scary. Although maybe you don't find them scary because you killed one so easy. But yeah, like they're definitely looking beat like everybody else down here. But obviously they're still tough.
Yeah, no, I don't want to mess with them. I don't have to. Rather not start a big fight down here.
Yeah, there's you would guess that there is more than 100 of these people in this village. So
Yeah.
if they were to try to overwhelm you, you would really not have a chance to. Yeah.
Say, what do you know of the goings on in the world above, outside your kingdom?
I have my informants. Not much has changed since the last time I drank the fine wines and sat amongst those of the spire.
Well, I think you might be surprised at what's happening.
Little surprises me now.
Well, would you like us to tell you what's happening?
No, not really. I have something else I want from you.
What is that?
I've been told by my guard that you came well armed. I think it's a blessing from the icons. There is a beast that lurks in this area, trying to act as though they're a civilized creature, but they are just an animal. Deadly animal.
A beast? What kind of beast? The human kind?
No. They're Scavara. Culture +1 if you want to know.
Of course I do.
Yeah. Anybody who has culture can do that. Actually, it's culture +1.
Ooh, nice. 2 successes.
Nice. And Saeed also knows. Does anybody else have culture? I know that Rahman does not have culture. Oh yeah. Also okay. Yeah, Rahman doesn't know shit, but everybody else knows that Scavara are badger men.
Raman draws a blank face and looks at Amira, Saeed, and Cyrus and goes, he shrugs and it's like, so what is it? Tell me a little more about this Scavara.
They're Azure men. Duh.
Badgermen.
Badger men. Yeah, I mean, like everyone knows that, Ramon. Come on, even I knew that.
Well, not everyone. I had no idea.
So you would know that you only got limited success. So that they're originally from Algol, and they were brought to Coriolis, station to do various work. Usually, like most semi-intelligence, as they call them, like low-end work. They're known to collect things. I mean, they're badgers basically. So I mean, but she says, go on.
Oops. They're from a goal, right? Right, Amir? Am I saying that right? From a goal?
El Gold, that's right.
Yeah, I thought so. They were brought to the station from there.
I see. Well, so they want us to kill these creatures?
The queen's kind of just looking at you as you're having this conversation.
Well, I haven't heard yet.
She taps her fingers and she says, "This is how society works now in the core. Surely they're not from the Spire."
Oh, I'm sorry, Queen. I've always been a rude bitch. Please carry on.
Pay no attention to. Forgive my compatriots. Sometimes they can be uncouth, but they are loyal and capable, and we are able to help you. What is it you want done with this Skavara?
The Skavara named Owl is trying to steal from us and create what they seem to be calling their own colony, but what they are is beasts that kill and steal. They don't have the sophistication of we, humans.
They're stealing from you?
Yes.
So you want us to stop them from stealing from you?
I want his head.
Ugh.
Bring me his head and I will give you what you need.
Which
Which is
one?
information.
Which
There's
head do
nothing
you
that
need?
goes on. The head of Owl.
Owl.
The
Yes, but which head?
Again, forgive my uncouth compatriot. We know what you mean.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
Crystal.
sorry.
Let's
Yeah,
not
shut
he
up.
does not yeah. Actually, yes, Crystal, you'll shut up. Or you'll be gone. Yes, the head of Owl. Bring it to me, and I will give you what you need.
Passage through and some information?
That's correct.
All right.
That sounds reasonable.
Well, Mira, of course, is thinking to herself, of course, this guy could be completely innocent, but we'll have to see what else is. Yeah.
Just
I look at
like
Saeed, as I always do.
These aren't the people we're looking for.
No, but how do we get through without dealing with them?
Perhaps we could just go back to the elevator and take the one floor up.
Climb up through, because I doubt it'll work now.
We do have Cyrus with us, and she's quite the genius when it comes to machines.
This
You
is the
can't
only
get
way through,
down by
right?
going up. Yes. You're sitting there right in front of her having this conversation.
Yes.
You can't get down by going up. I'll give you that information for free.
I said, well, My Majesty, what choice do you leave us then?
I don't know. What choice
Of course,
is there?
we'll need our
to-
weapons.
Yes,
Why,
we
of
will need our
course.
weapons.
Raman goes, well, Your Highness, Majesty. He scratches his head and looks at, and turns back to him. What do I call her?
Call her Your Highness. That's fine.
Your Highness. Do you know anything about the Order of the Pariah? We seek some
gives
missing people.
She gives a bit of a smile and she says, I know everything that goes on in the cellar.
Well, then, perhaps you already know why we're down here.
Perhaps.
Raman leans over to Saeed and says, she really does know everything, it seems like. We better do what she tells us, otherwise, look at all these people. And looks around and, points at all those people that are surrounding them.
I could make her. I don't know if I want to do that right now. I'll say, yeah, I'll say.
I'm just waiting. I know you're very capable.
Oh yeah, I will say first, two things. First, where does these badger people or badger men, where do they dwell? As this, we have to walk obviously through your domain, right, to get to them?
Yes, I will send Frax with you. And one of the Noctra steps forward. He will guide you.
Okay.
Of course, you will be given back your weapons.
Hmm.
All good trade is needed down here.
And we're trusting your word, obviously, that if we do this, you actually will give us the information. So perhaps you could give us just a bit of info in good faith.
Well, I would be not much of a trader if I didn't give what I promised. I know what you're looking for. You mentioned the Order, the Martyrs. You're looking for the people they're smuggling.
Yes, we are. Do you
She
help them
knows.
smuggle?
I don't help anybody. I grant passage to those who trade.
I look at Saeed and I say, I think we should check this out either way.
Yeah, he just nods his head.
All right. We will trade with you.
Excellent. I will begin to draw up a map for you. I'm sure you will be back shortly. After all, those as capable as you, and she kind of looks you up and down and says, should have no problem with the wild beast. Follow
Smile at her
Al, and he will take you to where you need to go. Your weapons will be given to you when you leave the premises.
Okay. So she's sending the Nectra with us.
Yep. Yeah, he comes up and,
Lovely.
because they could speak a bit, I believe. Never can speak. Because I think they could speak just roughly. Because, yeah, they kind of a little bit. So he kind of says, follow me. You know, he does that kind of like voice like that. And he starts walking. You can see he's got a bit of a limp, but otherwise, again, seems pretty formidable.
Okay.
I would ask Saeed if you would just kind of make sure nobody's following us from the camp or that she doesn't send more after us.
Yeah, I'll stay. I'll hang back a little bit.
Yeah, just just in case.
Yep.
Okay. He leads you, towards a large door, like a bulkhead door, and there's two guards there, like before, but there's also you hear kind of footsteps running kind of towards you, not like in an aggressive way necessarily, and you see that one of the guards from the first door is coming over with that cardboard box with your weapons. And he puts it down on the ground and says, there they are.
Thank you for keeping them safe for us.
You're welcome. Come again soon. It's always good here on market day. When I'm off duty, I'm going to do some trading later. I found some interesting wire when I was out wandering around yesterday.
Well, and she'll smile at him. I wish you much luck in your trading.
Thank you.
She'll give him some pieces of like gold thread that, from her to trade for wire.
Oh, all right. Yeah, he'll give you the wire. His eyes get bright, and he takes the thread and he gives you some wire that looks like it was clearly like stolen from some kind of a breaker box.
just make it friends, you know me.
10 foot of copper wire. Hey, you never know, that might save you someday.
Raman
we'll
looks
say.
at the wire. It's like somehow that those wires look very familiar, as if they're from the elevator.
Might be. I just like to participate in local custom, you know.
Yep.
Could be.
Yes. Well, let's go kill us a badgerman.
Yes, or at least talk to one.
I don't think he would be willing to talk and offer his head.
Probably not.
Yes, we may have to just simply kill him.
We
How do we
may.
identify this owl?
Well, Nectar's with you. The Nectar, Frax is with
Frax.
you. Yeah.
So,
He,
fellow,
if you ask him, he'll tell you. He'll say,
Yeah.
"Well, he is got a white stripe down his back, and is the leader of the Skavars. There are many of them, but most were loners and dealt with their own. He has organized them.
you've tangled with him before.
Uh, no, we politics. We can't be seen to. I don't know.
I see. Well, if you guide us through this place, we shall have this done.
You've never tangled with him? You've never tried to stop them from stealing from you?
No, I don't get involved in politics.
Ah, yes.
I just, I mean, what would you, what is stealing, really?
Taking what does not belong to you.
In the cellar, nothing belongs to anyone.
You're very philosophical, Frax.
You seem very cultured. You could perhaps teach me a lot of things about this place. And he's talking to Frax.
Well, he says.
Why does the queen not Oh, sorry, go ahead.
He tells you that he's actually lived down here for a few years after he was, he was originally, oh God, I lost the page. He was originally part of he worked, was trained by the Legion, and he was a scout. But then when the Legion had too many, he got a little older, and the Legion didn't feel like they needed him anymore. They dropped him off on a planet, and he became a gladiator at Mulkat. But him and his brothers, the other three there, escaped and got to the Coriolis space station. They were basically being transported, and they escaped and got to the cellar. So they've lived down there for a few years until they came upon the Queen, who was trying to organize.
Well, I'm glad you found a place, Frax.
Yes, she said that the third spear will be respected, like the core and the spire someday.
The third sphere.
That's what she said, anyways.
It's the first time we've heard it named.
It's kind of catchy.
Yeah. It sounds
Did you-
interesting.
Good.
Oh, go ahead, Said.
Oh, no, I was just saying it was interesting.
It does sound
I mean,
interesting.
for someone who doesn't get involved in politics, it sounds pretty political.
I'm simply telling you what she said.
Oh,
I know my place. I can't be a politician.
Oh, I bet you could speak for your brothers well, though.
We are all equal.
True. True.
Well, one more question, Brax. Do you know if the queen has ever tried to speak with this owl and set their differences aside so that maybe everyone could work together?
Mm. She does not see those who are not human as worth talking to.
I see. Well, she is hegemony, right?
Well, I do think there is some wisdom in that, because Raman is obviously a hegemony as well.
Yeah, Mirrorhead
You
clashes
sure?
with that. Well, we'll see what we find.
Yeah.
All we can do is go forward.
Frex, you haven't heard about these, martyr death dealers, have you?
No.
No. Has anyone down here heard of the martyrs, death dealers?
Maybe the queen knows everything.
Hmm.
I don't involve myself in politics.
No, I understand that. There's wisdom in your words.
Hmm.
So are we almost there yet?
As you say that, you kind of break out of this hallway. And by the way, this hasn't been like a straight hallway. There's been like a series of it's almost like a little bit of a like when you first came out of the elevator, you're in that giant space, which had this couple doors that you saw coming in and out of it. And then once you're past that, it's like it was above. There's like lots of hallways. And as you say that, you break into what is looks like it's probably an old hangar. You can even see that you recognize like that you're near the outside of the ship at this point. Like you've moved to the closer to one of the outsides. You can tell by the shape of it. It's like rounded or whatever. It looks like there's some doors that have been more or less permanently put out of use. Maybe they were used earlier when the station was created or something. Like it would be very large doors if they could be opened. There and in this area, it's kind of like what you saw in the other space. It's a large space, essentially with a similar type of town, though much smaller. And there's also a market going on here, and you see what amounts to maybe a dozen or more of these Scavara. They seem to be making trades with each other, and you even see a few humans down there, kind of. And Scavara don't really speak; they can speak like just a few words. So there's a lot of this like sign language stuff going on. As you kind of come into the space, they kind of all look, they're badgers, so they're all like, and they kind of look at you. And that's probably where we'll leave it as you enter into the Scavara market. And your meeting with, or potential meeting with, Al.